Well, hello, sweet friends. It has been a little bit since I have jumped on here to chat, and I wanted to share. I'm out on a walk, which I haven't been outside much on a walk because it's been a little icy, which it is still icy, but thankfully I can walk on the side of the trail and it is just fine. But I wanted to share something that came to me during my meditation the other day that I thought was so magical. It was just exactly, the universe just knows like what will light me up and get me excited. And I know that a lot of you have heard of that, kind of like the whole thing that you can do at the beginning of a year, which is to come up with a word or receive a word that it can mean different things for different people. So you could have a word that, it could be like magic, or it could be peace, it could be strength, it could be ease, whatever it is that you're hoping to just feel more of in the new year. And I've done this for many years. And honestly, I can't remember what mine was last year. I'm gonna have to look and see if I wrote it down anywhere because I can't remember. But while I was meditating and I was kind of connecting with my future self, which is a meditation that I have learned how to do, and it's a really powerful one because it really helps you to connect into your own inner wisdom and to your wisdom that you are connecting in on your soul path, like from the universe, from God, source energy, all that is, whatever you believe, nature, that you're just really tuning into the wisdom that is available to us. And I really was asking, I wanted something to feel more enlivened, to feel like it felt like magic, like that would call me forward into the year to share more and to be, not share more, just to be myself and to share from that place of being. So switching out of that paradigm from having to be more than what I am, but really coming back into that softening of like being in alignment and moving from there. So anyway, the sky is so pretty. I'll have to take a picture. And there's an airplane going overhead. So I'm gonna see if I can talk here that you can still hear me. But the word, it was kind of like a unraveling, but yet weaving in the way that I received this information, because it was like this layering. It was like, first I was getting some specific words, and it was like I was having this dialogue, and it was really helping me to just be like, well, that still doesn't really feel like it. But then the words like, like sunrise popped in, and I was like, well, that's interesting way to think about it. And sunset, and a starry night sky, and or starlight, and I was like, ooh, I'm liking these words. And then as I came out of my meditation and I was reflecting a little bit about it, all of a sudden it landed so strongly within me that the word was moss. And I felt it in my bones. I felt it in my whole body. That word meant something that I have already been embodying in all of my time I spend in nature. I get so excited and so lit up anytime I see moss on a tree or moss on a stone, or I think of moss. And for many different reasons, but I was thinking about it and I was like, okay, so what I usually do is I pick a word for the year, and this was more of a word that has an embodiment, and it also has something that already is igniting something in me, but it has qualities of words in ways of thinking about things in that it has. It's like I started thinking about like, what are some of the qualities? I have to change hands here, my arm's getting tired. What are some of the qualities of moss? And I was like, whoa, it's resilient. I was just touching a tree, and I took some pictures that I'll share, because it was like, it's green, it's vibrant green, moss on the tree in the middle of winter in January in Minnesota. And, so I was thinking resilient. Yeah, that's a great feeling, great word to kind of embody. And I was thinking ancient wisdom. It has been around for a very, very long time. I actually want to do a little bit more research. I didn't get all the way through because I ran out of time, because it's a book to savor, but it's called Gathering Moss by Robin Wall Kimmerer, I believe, who also wrote Braiding Sweetgrass. So Gathering Moss is the one, and so I'm going to recheck it out from the library because I want to read more, because she's a wealth of amazing information. I love the way she looks at nature, and she just has a beautiful connection with the land that I also feel, but she sparks something in me. And so moss has been kind of coming up in my life for a very long time. I was even reflecting on a time when I used to live up in the Boundary Waters, like back when I was 25 or 26. And I went up to Sleeping Giant Provincial Park up in Canada, and there was the most enormous boulder. And it was like we were hiking in between water on either side. It was just gorgeous and so lush. There was a rainbow that I saw, but I think I crawled up on top back then. I probably wouldn't do that maybe today, just because of the ecosystems that are with, and all the bugs and other plants and stuff. And, but it was so, I was carefully climbing up on top of this, and I just remember that feeling of being on this enormous rock, and the moss was so squishy and it was so thick. It was just like this carpet of it. And so I'm gonna look and see if I still have that picture. But it was amazing. So I just was reflecting on these things. And so I was thinking about just the different qualities and the words that live within this beautiful, I can't even think of what is it called? What is moss? Moss, I mean, it's a plant, but it doesn't have roots, but it grows off of, I think, the mushroom, like the mycelium. And it also, I think, if I remember correctly, came from the ocean onto land. So it has a unique history to it. So I'm excited to kind of explore more about it, but I just wanted to share that because I got so excited. I got so excited just thinking about this in a whole new way. Instead of just having a word, which there's nothing wrong with having a word, it just wasn't sparking it for me. I was like, well, of course I was given a word moss because of how passionate and deeply in love I am with nature and all the interconnectedness of the magic of the universe and all the interrelationships that I just, where the moss grows, and it's just, there's so much that I'm excited to explore about it, and it just brought me alive in a way that is what I would hope a word would do, for us. And so, or, that's what I would envision a word would do for all of us, is that it's like we're either trying to embody more in our life or we want to experience more of. So yeah, I wanted to share that. And then I also had a fun experience that same day. I went into a local yarn store here, and there was this wonderful woman who totally got exactly what I was sharing with her about my download of information that I received about moss and it being my word of the year. And she goes, "Can I collaborate with you?" And so then we went on to this whole thing about looking at, like she had said, well, what if you grabbed some yarn? Because I was looking at trying to find yarn that had the word moss in it, like the color of moss, just because I love to knit. And I thought that would be a fun way to incorporate and embody that feeling even more. And she goes, what if you felt the textures of the different colors of moss, but moss colors of yarn to feel, because I envisioned moss as really squishy and soft. And so she was like, maybe take a look. And she brought over all these swatches of different fabric like of the yarn swatches of wool that I was looking at, like merino wool. Well, I ended up loving that whole thing, and I spent some time the other day just wandering around and feeling yarns and just thinking about, she goes, what if, like, envisioning these sheep to have wandered near like old stones or like trees that had moss. And I thought, oh my gosh, she just got me even more excited thinking about that, because I just love all of those things. And so I found some really, really beautiful yarn that I'll share as well. But it was so pretty. It's like this vibrant green. And I had to think through, like, I was thinking through, like, what color green of moss? Because moss is a variety of different colors and different shades. And I was noticing that I was drawn to that, like, vitality, that vibrant green. And so for me, that was kind of a piece that I landed on, and found some alpaca mixed with, I think it's a little bit of organic cotton and merino wool. And so I'm going to either maybe make like a scarf or like a pair of mittens. We'll see what I land on. But I just wanted to share this because it was like such a unique way of looking at a word of the year, and I wanted to share it because maybe it'll inspire you. And if you have like a specific word that came in for you so strongly, I would love to hear what your word of the year is for you. Yeah, I just think this is going to be moss is going to be a really good word for me. I haven't felt the greatest for a while, since it's been a while since, I think 2020, I haven't really felt the greatest, but I think something kind of shifted in my body a little over a year ago. I heard something. Yeah, so I just have felt like there's that sense of wanting to be comfortable, to have vitality, to be really tuned in and just being in the flow, in my own flow and alignment, just moving through my day in a very natural way, feeling grounded, and yeah, all of those different things that I wish to share. So I will keep you posted, but for now, I think it's getting a little dark. I hear people walking on the snow and the ice. But anyway, sending so much love, and yeah, so much love your way. May we all have a more embodied, present, grounded, and just heart-centered year. Yeah. So sending lots of love. Spend some time in nature. I don't know why sometimes I don't get out in nature. I think it's just, maybe I just get a little bit like, oh, it's just so cozy inside, which I love too. But I remember every single time I get outside that it returns me back home within. So sending lots and lots of love your way.